believe we're live. So excited about this topic and being able to talk about some of the updates that have been happening regarding Google, their live marketing event that they put on earlier today, and then as well being able to talk about how this actually relates to photography, wedding photography, and other types of photography as well. And so we're going to be talking about some of those updates, cool stuff, like the live event. And I'm going to screen share here in a second. Actually, let's see if I can show you guys this as we talk about it a little bit. Bear with me as I try to find it. Hopefully everything sounds good, by the way. You guys go into the comments, let me know who's watching. How does the audio sound to you? Video look okay? All that good stuff. Just let me know in the comments and hit that like button. And the big takeaway that I have for you today is don't be afraid of AI. You don't have to be afraid of AI. I don't want to create fear around AI. However, I do want you to be informed. You should be informed when it comes to AI, because if you're not, then there's things that you're doing that aren't going to work very well. Now, the beauty of it is a lot of what I already teach about focusing on user experience and not overemphasizing blogging, for one thing, you're going to see that stuff becomes more and more real. Now, I've been talking about like helpful content, user experience for years. Some of you guys have probably been in this group for that long, and I think it was just this, sort of close to December or so, around that time period, everybody started kind of talking about the Google's helpful content update and how you need your content. And when we talk about content, I'm not talking necessarily about blogging. I'm talking about like the stuff on your page. Is the stuff on your page actually engaging people? And I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see if I can move over here and we'll talk about this. It's like news style. I feel like I need that like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I need that in the background playing. But it is kind of news. It's kind of a big deal if you think about it because, Google just had this big live event and they were talking about, for instance, one of the things they were talking about was some of the latest AI stuff that they're going to be putting out. And not all this is actually out yet. So it's stuff that is still unfolding. And that's the kind of stuff that we're going to talk about mostly is the AI powered stuff. And it actually, in a lot of ways, I think is going to affect it, maybe make ads when it comes to Google better. I think if you're blogging though, I think that there's a good chance that blogging, if you're relying on blogging, that it could possibly hurt you. And think of it this way, like for instance, and I'll actually, let's see, our buddy Neil over here, Neil Patel, he's got a nice little graphic on this. And hopefully this isn't too small for you guys to see. You might have to get real close, but he actually had been talking about this as well. And he talked about, I don't know if I can zoom in on this. Let's see if we can. Yeah, I think we can zoom in on this. So like, there's going to be these, and by the way, who is it? I think it's DuckDuckGo has already experimented a little bit with like these, I don't know, AI boxes that you can ask questions. And this is going to be one of the things I talk about. And you need to hear this. Please listen to what I'm about to say because it is going to affect how you do SEO. But as you see here, you're going to be able to go in and again, hopefully you guys, you let me know in the comments if you can see this. If I need to make it like full screen, then I totally will. But if we can get away with it being smaller, then, we'll do that. So you guys just let me know in the comments. People are going to be able to go in and ask questions. So they're talking about how long tail keywords, like think about like, here was an example. I need a mountain bike that is good for mountain biking in Sedona. Which bike should I get that is less than $2,000? A question like that is going to become the fodder, the type of thing that you would want to ask AI, and it's going to get better search results. Now, in theory, what this is going to do is it's going to help people continue to use Google. So the theory is that more and more people are going to use Google more and that they're going to stay competitive. What I like about this is that, there was some people kind of going, is Google going to get left in the dust as AI, all comes out? And there's all this stuff going on with AI and maybe it'll replace Google. And the whole time I'm like, no, it's not going to replace Google. That's not what's going to happen here. For one, Google is not going to get left in the dust on this stuff. They're not going to let ChatGPT or anything else really outdo them, in my opinion. I just think that they're, for the most part, too ahead of the curve to allow that to happen. Not that it couldn't, but what they're doing is they're just basically saying, hey, we aren't going to get left in the dust here. And this is going to be great for people that run ads because, like, as you can see, like, they're going to be able to serve ad stuff into this. So again, if people type something like stuff to do at the Grand Canyon, things are going to pop up here. Now, here's one photo, a photography example for that. Let's say someone is visiting Myrtle Beach, right? And they're like, stuff to do at Myrtle Beach. It is not impossible that Google could actually recommend, let's say, getting photos done at the beach. So I actually anticipate this type of stuff affecting like our portrait, wedding, and not necessarily wedding, but family photographers more than it does wedding photographers directly. Because if you think about it, there are things that will affect wedding photographers. So wedding photographers, please don't tune out just yet. But for our family photographers, there's the odds, there's the chance that someone could be typing in things like this and it could suggest you. Now, here's the beauty of it. If your SEO is already good, then you're going to get baked into the AI as well. So if you're doing good SEO, you should be getting seen inside of here as well. Also, though, this is going to give more opportunities, I think, for ads to get seen. And this is one of the things that was kind of talked about at the event. And I don't think that's necessarily going to hurt anybody. I think if you were in e-commerce, it would make things better for you. I don't really think it means that you should go run Google Ads. The reason being is that I think Google Ads are much, much better for like think your local attractions or e-commerce, like products, stuff like that. What I do think can be largely affected here is going to be if you're relying on blogging primarily. I have the inkling that if people are using AI and AI is sort of aggregating the data here, instead of them having to go look at blogs, they can just look at what the AI is saying. So I think that this is going to not completely replace blogging. I think it's going to impact the need for people to have to comb blogs. Again, I don't think it's going to completely nix any reason for people to look at blogs. I think some people still like to see opinion pieces. People like to see review pieces. But when it comes to people looking at blogs in order to gain like a quick perspective on certain things, I think that it could impact how effective blogging actually is. Now, I've been saying for a long time, I don't think blogging is what you should be doing in order to rank on Google. There's reasons to blog, but you got to remember, like, blogging has become so popular, large in part, let's see, I got to get back over to where I was here. Blogging has become so popular, large in part, because it's scalable for companies. So, like, think about it. Like, if you run a company and you want to make money, and you're doing SEO, you want to focus on the most scalable things about your company that you can do that actually get people some results. And so that's going to be what? That's going to be backlinks. That's one, because you can outsource those. But the other one is going to be content. So this is where content, I believe, has gotten such an incredibly large echo chamber effect where everybody thinks that the way to rank on Google is to blog, when in fact it's not. There are some good reasons to blog, and blogging can be helpful in certain ways, but it is not the way generally to get the most amount of inquiries for your local area. The best way to do that is to rank for your money keywords, your keywords that are high buyer intent keywords that people are going to be searching if they're looking to actually make a buying decision. So what you want to do is you do not want to be focusing on just blogging all kinds of content, especially because what happens, and I see this, I see how people interact with blogs all the time. People come into blogs, they get what they want, which is usually not a wedding photographer, and then they leave. So you might be giving some sort of suggestion on, how to prepare for your wedding ceremony or something like that. They see that and leave. Blogging is just not good when it comes to getting high intent traffic that is ready to spend money with you. The better keywords are going to be like your local city-based keywords. So think like Tallahassee wedding photographer, your Los Angeles wedding photographer. And we see this with people, right? I mean, we just had Anne Marie, who's a family photographer, on like 2 weeks ago. She's got 315 inquiries via Google in Q1. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't use some blogs for location-specific stuff. And this is why I'm telling you all this, because if you're relying only on blogs, I think that the AI will suck up some of that because it's going to give answers to people, so they won't need to look at blogs. Okay? However, there's the chance that they could be serving some of those like suggested blogs up into the area to where they can people could click on that if they wanted to, like if they wanted to go deeper into that topic. So there's the chance that blogs could have, even if they become sort of secondary, they could still have some traffic because of this. But that means that you still just want to rank high on Google. But again, blogs tend to convert much more low of a percentage of people because the intent when someone goes to a blog, they're not looking for a photographer. They're looking for an answer to a specific thing that they're curious about. So that's where location-specific rankings are very, very important, and they will continue to be like that. And so, again, with these new updates, what you should be thinking about is how can I get ranking for location-specific keywords that are going to rank me high so that I'm not, like if you're relying on blogs, I'm not just relying on blogs, and instead ranking for these keywords that are high search intent type keywords. And you guys, let me know if that makes sense, because that's one of the biggest pieces of what I'm saying here is that it's important that you rank for keywords that are, okay, a person is searching this keyword if they're in a buying mindset. They are of the persuasion when they type in something like, again, Louisville wedding photographer, they are probably looking to hire a Louisville wedding photographer, and they're very serious about it. Now, this may open up other opportunities that we just don't know about yet. It's very possible that there's new stuff as this rolls out that we're just not aware of. What I'm really excited about is the fact that since Google is implementing this, it's highly unlikely that they do not take the search results that are already showing up and sort of incorporate them into the AI. So if someone was to ask, who are the top wedding photographers in Delaware, or who are the top wedding photographers in Seattle, the AI is probably going to pull from its knowledge base there on Google and give them a concise list and likely provide links to go check out those photographers. So, but again, the way that you should show up there is if you're already ranking inside of the search results. Again, I'm just super excited about that because like that was one of the first things that I started thinking about was, so what happens with AI if Google doesn't catch up, if Google gets kind of left in the dust? What happens when people start asking AI, like, who's the best wedding photographer in Louisville, Kentucky? And then it says somebody else other than who's on the first page of Google, right? That would be a little bit concerning for us if we're trying to show up for the traffic. But because Google is already word of mouth, okay, I don't know if you guys know that. Does anybody realize that? Let me know in the comments. Do you realize that Google's technically word of mouth? A search engine which is aggregating based on a trust system and a trust algorithm is declaring its top recommendations for who you should be looking at for any given search term. That is word of mouth. And this is very important to understand because if you don't understand that Google is word of mouth, you're missing out big time. Now, I'm going to talk about a couple other things here in a second, but if you are not yet on the Dream Clients wait list. You are like, okay, this is all cool stuff, but I really just want to rank on Google and get clients through Google, and I don't want to have to figure it all out myself. I want somebody to hold my hand and get me there. Then Dream Clients is my mentorship program that's been designed specifically with you in mind. Now, you can't get into Dream Clients just by going and clicking something, because we have an interview process where we try to figure out, okay, are you someone that we want to see on the first page of Google, because we can tell that you take good care of your clients, you've got good enough work, and we're not here to judge anybody. It's just that we've noticed that if we're going to help someone rank on Google, there's a few things that kind of need to be in place first. Because, for instance, we don't want to help somebody get to the first page of Google and all of a sudden, you are using your superpower and not actually fulfilling. That's not really fulfilling to us. And so we want to work with people that are very serious about what they do. And so if you're interested in being on the Dream Clients wait list, I'm going to drop the link for that into the chat box there. And I also see now our comments. I wasn't seeing comments before in typical Facebook fashion. Stefine says, hello. What's up, Stefine? Adam, good old Adam Brennan in here is very complimentary of my rather attractive voice. Appreciate that, Adam, as always. Heather asks, so it'll get more specific search results. Is that what you're saying? No, I'm not saying that it's going to get more specific. It will get better at giving direct answers that are summed up from the aggregate of data that is Google search. So again, another example of this would be for family photographers, for example. I might do a search for things to do while I'm at Myrtle Beach. And then all of a sudden, one of the suggestions is to get family photos. And then if I go deeper in that, it may actually suggest photographers to me. Okay, so that's one example. Now, when it comes to wedding photographers, someone in theory could go in and do a search for who are the most well-known wedding photographers in Tampa, Florida, right? But what excites me is because Google is probably going to serve up the search results that are already in its database. So if you're ranking, it's likely that it's just going to serve it up to Google. And what's even more exciting is the placement. So the AI is placed very high, which means that since it's placed high, it's probably going to be used a lot. And so they're kind of weaving some of the ads and stuff more into that. But because it's so high, again, if someone goes in and just types, who's the top wedding photographer in such and such place, it's just going to give them that right away. So for instance, now in most any city, if you go do a search for, Seattle wedding photographers, you're going to see The Knot, you're going to see Wedding Wire. But if someone asks a question like, who are the top wedding photographers, or give me a list of the top wedding photographers in Seattle, now it's going to just list them out most likely. Instead of, again, giving results that, if I'm looking for a Louisville wedding photographer, do I really want to see The Knot? Now, maybe not, but I think that as Google gets artificial intelligence rolling out, we'll see more and more of those searches actually being refined in a sense. So specific search results, yes and no. I think that's just going to be able to understand people's questions better. And that is possibly going to replace a lot of the blogs. I really think a lot of people are going to stop looking at blogs as much, which I've already been preaching that for a while now, that you shouldn't have to blog in order to rank on Google. It's not that you can't blog. It's not that blogs are evil. I still think there's a place for blogs, and I do teach people in my Dream Clients program about how to blog, not volume, but very specifically in order to help people decide that they want to book you, and for you to charge more. But the blogging for ranking on Google, I think, is going to become much less of a thing that is effective. It's already not that effective, but I'm saying that I think even less people are going to be looking at blogs when it comes to doing a direct keyword search. So again, an example might be if they go into the AI and say something like, show me show me the best wedding venues in, I'm trying to use a different state, Texas. It may just list them out there. Now, someone may still go, oh, I want to look at a blog for that. And they could want to go deeper. But questions that are much more simplistic, that are going to satisfy people right away, it's going to solve the need to look at those blogs. Now, for, if you're going to write blogs, what that means is now you have to really get an angle on it in order for it to be unique information that draws people in, that they can't just skim and get from an AI chatbot. So I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any other questions, I'll stick around here for just another minute. But the big point of what I'm getting at here is that for your business, you should be thinking about, like, what is my message? How do I speak to people? Do I have the sales skills to be able to, again, not be salesy, but to be a person that connects with people and allows them to be drawn magnetically into my business in a way that they buy with me, with this psychological sense that the more good things they find out about me, the better they feel about their decision. And have I baked that in both into my sales process as well into my website? Because if you haven't baked it into both, you're going to run into issues, right? And the beauty of this is if you're doing that with Google's AI and how it's rolling out, you're going to have better chances of being shown to people because Google cares about how people are interacting with your content. And so we're not trying to trick the search engines. We're not trying to, finagle our way in. Now, there's stuff that you should be doing. There's tips and tricks to the trade. There's ways to analyze how to figure out what people are doing on your website in order to make data-driven changes. That's all the stuff that I cover inside of Dream Clients. And of course, in this group, I cover as much as I can here and there. But what I'm trying to tell everybody in this group, because so many people I think have been sort of lied to when it comes to the whole blog, just keep blogging, blog. Somebody the other day said, yeah, this guy told me I need to blog at least 2 to 3 times a day. I'm like, that is crazy. We had somebody else that said, yeah, well, I did this program and then, they told me I have to blog. So then they had a person to pay. So then I paid that person. So then they're paying money just to blog and they're still not ranking and getting inquiries like they want to. And so my big thing for you guys is I want to inform you. I also want to let you know of the things that you should watch out for, right? There's lots of pitfalls when it comes to SEO. I want to sort of guide you along the way as you're doing SEO or as you're just doing website stuff or whatever it may be, and help you to, number one, not fall into pitfalls, help you to find the best, most effective way to do SEO, and hopefully you realize that that's really crafting your message in a way that causes people to engage on your webpage. They're reading the stuff on your webpage. They're not just looking at it. They're not just looking at images, scrolling on by. They're actually engaging with, reading the copy on your page, and then going to specific places that indicate to Google that, okay, this person actually was finding what they're looking for on this page. If you're doing that, I think artificial intelligence should be your friend. It doesn't have to be feared. But I think it's amazing that even as this stuff rolls out, it aligns with a lot of the stuff I've been saying for years. I've been saying this stuff, I've been saying this stuff longer than anybody else in the photography world. That's for sure. So the point here is focus on magnetically attracting your ideal clients in a way that helps them to become a dream client. There is a difference. I'm going to start making a difference there. An ideal client might be someone that you really want to work with, but a dream client is someone that can't help but find all the good things about you. So an ideal client should be a dream client, but I think for the sake of discussion, we need to make a differentiation between ideal client and dream client, because you can have somebody that their style is great, they want to pay your prices, but they just didn't really ultimately connect with you the way that you wanted them to. So anyhow, we're going to shut it down. As long as we didn't have any other questions, I'm going to refresh just to make sure that Facebook is goofy, doesn't want to show me questions very much. So if I missed anybody's question, I will try to answer it here later. If you're watching replay, comment replay for me. And also, if you guys got value out of this, let me know in the comments. Go ahead and comment value. It means a lot. And also lets me know if you like this type of stuff. Like, I want to know, do you guys like me kind of following up with some of the stuff that's going on? Like, do you want to know about when Google has a meeting and they come up with some new stuff and they talk about these things? Do you want to know about those types of things or not? And again, if you comment value, that just lets me know that you guys enjoyed this, that you liked me going over these things, and I will do more stuff like that. So thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you all, and I look forward to seeing you guys on our next Easy SEO Live. Keep in mind, we do these every single week. We aim to do them on Tuesdays, usually sometime between 6 and 9 p.m. Eastern. And then also the group is here for you. You can ask questions, get help inside the group. And then obviously we have the ability to go deeper much faster if you're interested in getting on the wait list for the Dream Clients program. So you guys have a great rest of the evening. I look forward to seeing you next time on Easy SEO Live. That's it for now. Bye, guys.